can drive a boat, right?
Alright everybody, thank y'all for coming out to Cajun Encounters this morning.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. My name's Jacob. I'll be on captain and tour guide. Just a few things real quick about the boat while we get started. All the life jackets for everyone right under the center seat. There's little patches by your legs on both sides of the boat in the middle section. Y'all get none back here. See, it's a good thing y'all sat on that side. Y'all get some life jackets now. Yeah. No, there's enough on the edge. Yeah, there's enough for everybody on there. We just had Coast Guard check, so supposedly all the life jackets. So, yeah, they approved it. Well, fire extinguisher, throw rings back here. No smoking tour. On the front deck is the bow, so just a couple of y'all towards the very front, just no standing up on top of the bow of the boat, please. What we'll usually do is standing while we're moving. Stay seated for me. If we're stopped throughout the tour, you want to check out things that's on the wrong side of the boat, you want to stand, that's fine. While we're sitting still, it's okay. If it's right in front of you, please stay seated so they can see behind you. Depending on where we are, we're trying to get things on both sides of both of y'all. I already see a few birds. You might check out up there and see big white egrets way up in front, up in the trees over there.
Are we going to see alligators? Oh my God.
I'm going to say probably. We're still kind of in this wishy-washy time of year. Cold front just coming through. Sunlight, the sun's out, start off nice, that helps. Pretty helpful. I think I was just talking to one of the inland captains about next weekend. We're supposed to be back in the 30s and stuff. Hey, believe us, anyway, that's when it's spring down here. It's hot, cold, hot, cold. Hot winter too. And cold. You don't get the in-between weather. It's like, what are we at? Anyway, I'm going to save looking for the alligator at the end. I'm going to try and let it warm up as much as we can. Because the more sun, the better, and warmer, the better. You know, so we may see some up this way. I don't know. I wasn't here yesterday, so I'm not sure if they saw it every day yesterday. But starting off nice with the wind being low. And then what actually benefits us more is the weather pattern switching more from the Gulf instead of coming from north. So we're getting a more southeasterly wind. It's warmer. You know, more tropical weather. It just warms everything up. So that helps you out when you look for alligators when it's still kind of chilly for it. So we're gonna look for them now. You're actually really close to the lake. So you run near the lake and it's tidal, and then that helps out too because it's warmer down there. So, anyway, maybe I'll find y'all a snake up here y'all can touch. So I usually tell you don't touch none of the animals that we might see. Don't want anything to bite you, but I'll let. Last time, 2 days ago, I had kids petting snakes in the pool. Got all our custom snakes. I had a guy that had a fake snake right after we saw the snake, and then he threw it, and everybody freaked out. It was pretty funny. Y'all are almost in snake season. Well, something big just swirling right here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an otter. Look, he's swimming across the river on the left. He's going to pop up towards the shoreline. There's a little river otter. Watch, you might just look towards the lily pad. That's the direction he was heading. See if he pops up right there. Oh, there he is. He's swimming in the bank. I was wondering what that big old swirl was. Yeah, he's up in the bank now. So he can swim all through that swamp. That's all flooded. So but this time of year, we actually will start seeing more of the river otter because when we start crawfishing, we'll usually store our crawfish like in the water right next to our dock. And you gotta beat them things in the head to keep them out of your crawfish. you think like a little latch is good enough? That's a clever little animal right there. They will open up your latches and get inside your pens and just eat all your crawfish. So we got some high water coming for next week with the Burrow River being very high upriver. So once that water goes back down, I'm gonna start crawfishing around here. We should be able to do pretty well this year. But anyway, look, y'all got questions throughout the tour? Feel free to ask questions. We're gonna start the tour up this way, and then we'll gradually on our way down the river, and hopefully be able to find y'all. You can see, because look, this time of year still, because we're still in the dormant season for the swamp, where everything still kind of looks dead, but it's a little green, trying to come back. As you go downriver, spring starts even quicker for your vegetation growth because being tidal with the lake is warmer. So everything comes back quicker. So there's more color down there, and the animals, we usually see a little more birds, and the bald eagle nest down there. You know, so they got babies. Babies are different. There's some different birds in my you can put out like Yeah, Molly. So he's probably trying to catfish in places that he can't really get to with the big boat. So he'll launch the little boat out of the big boat, and that's not even that big of a boat for a big boat. And then he'll paddle in even further. Now he looks like he has more like a canoe, but we use boats called a pirogue that's kind of like a more flat bottom canoe. It's like a Cajun canoe, but one of those described a different way. And we use them for like craw fishing to get up in the swamp, because you can stand them and push pole through the swamp and everything. They're pretty stable. You know, if you got balance, it's stable. Yeah, it's pretty helpful tool. Alright, so the name of the river we're on is the West Pearl. The Pearl River begins right above Jackson, Mississippi. It's 444 miles total length, and empties behind us about 5 to 6 miles into Lake Bourne. Lake Bourne connects directly into the Gulf of Mexico. So from where we are, we're actually only about 30 miles in a straight line from the Gulf. The Gulf is right below us, and that's why we're tidal, and you know, it's a little warmer down there for all cold-blooded critters. The river stays flowing, especially when it's high through spring like we are, and that water's cold. You know, so that's why it sets us back a little further, waiting for the gators to pop up. Last week, when it was 80 degrees and sunny, they were, I can't say they were everywhere, but compared to what we normally see, they were everywhere. You know, so you get a day like today, it's gonna be nice. You know, if we get mid-60s in sun, that's pretty big for them to do. So I'm sure as the day progresses, we'll see. Yeah, so Lake Bourne's down there. It's salty. You tidal in the river stays pretty fresh, so it's like, it turns to a marsh down there. Up here we're at the swamp, we got the big tree growth, and as you go more north in the river system, the tree growth is thicker. And then as you get closer to the lake, it thins because of the salt water. You can go. What happens down here is our elevation is so when the water gets high, it comes up a little bit, it spreads everywhere. So that we won't really get all flooding anywhere here like we would dealing with up there. So, but they don't have to deal with what we deal with in summer. Right, hurricanes, you know. So when those come in, the water comes out the line. Because when the little gulf kind of go inland, it covers everything. You know, so yeah, that's where all the river barrels a couple feet. But it doesn't take much. You go about 10 miles up this river, and then neighborhoods get flooded by way of river because the elevators go down here. The river's a little bit outside, so the rest of the river system's to the right of the boat, and that direction you have to be now, I guess. And there's one more river. Oh, it's actually called a road out here. You can drive across the whole Delta on highway. Wow. And you can cross the other four in that direction. Once you cross the last one, you'll go over to the Gulf of Mexico. Race day. NASCAR. We're all racing the same place. Alright, so this is not clear. The river gets all you. Takes over all fears of alligators. So you jump in the water till it's a million degrees. Alligators are fine. You're never going to take an alligator. Yeah, most alligators. It's not really good. So, yeah, you go swimming out here and you pop up with it. We don't really swim deep. So you go upriver where the elevation begins to change. When the river gets shallow in summer, there's nice, pretty like little sandy banks and stuff in the river banks. And then when the river goes down, people around here swim. Alligators are afraid of you. They got lakes everywhere. They got alligators and everything. That's how you go to the end of the river in summer. They got dolphins down here. You can jump in the water with dolphins. Alligator, shark, dolphin's the first one that's going to come fight. And the alligator, the shark, different food sources. You're not part of it. That's a big real one. like to lay on that there. I don't see it. Eventually the sun kind of gets there. It's probably just like under the water. So when it's very cold and their blood's very cold, because the water's cold, they can shut their hearts down in just a couple feet of net. And it allows them to stay underwater for hours and hours and hours. The real thing is probably the whole day of water. And then they'll come up right when you need it. Smiling to the water, we're getting really close to the reef. Usually by the end of this month, so it's March, we can start up around then we'll start to find a little bit.
Pretty wet.
Flowers back here, part of the rose family. And we got Cherokee roses out here that bloom, the wild roses, so they're already popping too. But I mean, look, that's already cypress already popping in the But if you look at the top trees, a lot of them have this brown stuff. And then this tree called cypress, they're popping. So a lot of the tree growth around here really start flowering coming into January. And then, you know, by now it's like almost at the leaf growth stage, which you'll see a lot of some of the cypresses, some of the maples and throwing their leaves already. So really, get popping a little bit. They're further up. They're not full yet, but a couple white flowers on the side over there. That's the Cherokee roses. There's what's starting. We're probably just a couple weeks out from all of our iris trees. You're going to see all the iris trees on both sides of what's happening now. What we call the Louisiana iris. Big wildflower. Maybe we'll get lucky with this like this third time. People eat them too. Man.
I was saying hi.
You live down here. You know I know I'm over there. Look at it. Look at my little friend.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good one. He's coming to get his snack. Look, swamp tour boats are like Mardi Gras floats out here. All the animals chases around. Look, raccoons even stand up and put their hands in the air. What you doing there, buddy? He already knew it. Look, if they're not in your trash can, they're way cuter. All I was waiting on. I'm surprised where the rest of his family is. There's about 3 or 4 of them right here. They got one that's really sweet. Comes right up the boat. Jan will feed her right up my hand. I think it's the mama to these because this is smaller. And they got one that's really nice. So you got them tiny, them new litter box right now. Make pets out of them. You want the female over the male. The male's getting used. They're pretty cool. Sort of, I guess. I wouldn't have one as a pet. Well, they're part of the weasel family, so that'd be more like having an otter. The otters are kind of mean. My aunt had a pet otter one time when I was a kid, and I got a scar in my hand from that thing. It bit the mess out of me. I took a chunk out because they got like a little mouth and little teeth. Plenty river otters. See, like out here is like a little small mammal. When I mentioned the giant rats, so the giant rats are called nutria. They're from the Amazon, from Argentina. So the native mammal species you're gonna find around here, especially in the wetlands. You saw the little raccoons, they live in the trees. The swamp is like a perfect habitat for a raccoon because of the abundance of water. Raccoons have such a small saliva gland, they can't produce enough saliva to really swallow food. So they put their food in water. That's why you think they like water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they actually dampen their food before they eat it.
That's neat.
Their closest relatives are red panda on the other side of the world. They're just like this. So here comes another one. I see the bushes like a little raptor or Jurassic Park running around. They come through the elephant ears and you see the grass moving around like dinosaurs. Have a little buddy. Hey guys, have fun. Where's the rest of your family? Y'all still napping? They come pose for you.
What are you feeding them?
It's a protein powder. Okay. It's actually alligator food, but they eat it. If you walk right back there, it's like you can see, yeah, you got the trees get all flooded again. This is just a little ridge. What we're sitting on is kind of like the remnants of the river. So a little bit inland to the left would have been still part of the river until you hit a thicker tree line. And all the right of the boat where it's flat and open is also what should be flowing water of the river. Now you get back years before this all sets in. They were all getting on the cycle. They eliminated this portion. So the river comes downhill, they dig that back out, and they just chop the river straight. And they just sort of cut the river right here. And over 100+ years, it silts up, and you get almost a road. So you know the elephant ear plant. So you see it all over, and the raccoons are walking through. That's not native. The elephant ear is taro. Taro was introduced when the Europeans came from Asia originally. Before, when they came from there to come here, trying to get back there, they got here instead. A couple of things show up. We get taro. We call it elephant ear because of the shape of the leaf, but they brought it as a food source.
So good.
And then nobody eats it. Nobody even knows it's taro around here. Unless you Google elephant ear and you read about it.
My battery pack.
Because it's still winter. If it's cold enough winter, they're not there. They're underground, they're rooted because of tropical plant. And then if we, it's going to get hot. Beat you down. These things get like 6 feet tall right now. Yeah, they get big. These are all full mature roots you can dig up. Big roots. So it's like and it's purple. These are white.
Oh, these ones?
Yeah. They're different. Most of them are purple. But these are a little different. Probably. I've never tried them before. Family to it is just starting to grow. Off to the right on this side. They got clusters of these little pointed arrowhead leaves. They're all back there. So you got some irises and stuff close up. When you look at these little clusters of light green shoots, that's the giant arrowhead plant. That's the exact root system that produces the process of the big arrowhead. But that's what those are. So look, this is how we know when stuff's not native and native. When you come out here every day, 2 years ago, 2 winters ago, we had very cold weather. Ice, snow, and everything else. So when you get to cold winters, all the tropical stuff kind of dies. There's not so much dead when it goes dormant to the point where it takes a lot longer to come back, but all the native stuff pops right back up. So that's when you can really start spotting the things that is actually native to the area. We have so much native, non-native tropical growth for New Orleans. So for hundreds of years, everybody's traveling from other places in the world, tropical areas. They're bringing all kinds of grasses from all over the world. So we have all kinds of things that's not native around here that kind of thrive in our system. So giant arrowhead plant. That's the arrowroot powder right there. So you got the taro root that's kind of like a sweet potato sort of, and then you have the giant arrowhead that they start egret coming up on the right. Blake just caught a crawfish.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw him pick a crawfish out of the grass. But that's mine. I'll be fighting all these birds for crawfish here shortly. I literally, he just picked one right up out of the water. So, but we'll probably see more of these. The great egret's the largest of the egret family. Chances are there's another one around because they're all paired up for nesting season right now. These birds nearly go extinct in the 1800s because of this time of year they produce a feather that people wanted to put in their hats, and they killed them off like all over the country where they're from, and nearly put them, extinct. They're back healthy again. Yeah, there's this fluffy, long feather that drapes off their backside this time of year. And that's what he's doing, man. This time of year you start getting these guys show up in the swamps, more so from the lower marshland, from wintertime, and they're catching crawfish, man. When crawfish start to come up out of the mud and gets big enough for all the animals to eat, it's the main food source of everything out here. So everything is after the crawfish. When they start coming up this time of year. So they gobble them right up real quick. They just walk in the shallows. Great red. And there's the giant rat.
Oh! Back it up.
That's a nutria. Kind of like a beaver.
Yeah.
They eat grass only. We're gonna. They have extremely soft fur. That's worth $6 right there. Just for their tail. You shoot them and cut their tail off, you get $6 for it. We have a bounty in Louisiana. So the bounty. I'll go over the whole bounty program. But, you can ride around and shoot stuff out of the boat, and they can cut its tail off and get $6 for the tail. Alright, so look, this animal gets introduced in the 1800s by way of Argentina, from the family that makes Tabasco hot sauce. Before they make hot sauce. That's produced out of Louisiana, Tabasco.
That's a nice little tool.
So, yeah, it's in, where's it at?
I know it's about.
It's right around Lava. It's right like north of Lava.
Yeah.
Tabasco place. I got the name of the place.
But I know it's about an hour drive.
Iberville? Is it Iberville or something like that? Anyway, my friend goes up to the Tabasco plant and does work on their like trimmers. Oh, okay. So, there you go. So, but nutria gets introduced by way of Argentina because it's a fur mammal. You know, it's a kind of larger rodent-sized mammal. They have extremely soft fur. And they send these things all over, Asia and stuff back in the day with the pelts. People made hats and gloves around and coats and stuff around here too. But it's a rodent, so it reproduces very quickly. So by 100 plus years later, these things are so abundant and they only eat grass, they destroy our offshore wetlands. So on top of over competition of like muskrats and things like that that native here, they kind of live the exact same way and they take over the territory. The nutria eats all the saltwater marsh up offshore, and then it kills all the grass that holds land together. So they've been having a bounty system since before me, and can't get rid of them. But it's a way of trying to keep the population minimal. So $6 a tail. You get the private land permit from the state for the bounty. You can do it on your private property. It's not just ride around and shoot at them. And you look, if you really want to work on the pelts, you got to trap them to process the pelts because they don't want all the BB holes to shoot them. So if you're trapping them, they still make like $3-4 a pelt for it if you want to go through all that. So they do it during this time of year. It's always the small game trapping seasons. So that's when the pelts work. So it's still a method to make different amounts of money, but the tail is specifically worth $6 a piece if you have the bounty permit. They have huge orange teeth. My friend had one as a pet one time. You just feed the different types of grasses. That's food. Yeah, that's in September, but that's really right. You can buy anybody will buy an alligator license, but that doesn't mean you need to go home.
I hit this.
That's kind of how it works out. So you got to have private property to apply for land tags for your personal property. So then you could get X amount of tag for your acreage or the wetlands.
Oh, you didn't?
Yes, it's pretty good.
Oh.
They don't just let it go. That's why the animal got put on the endangered species and stuff like that. Because everybody could go shoot around.
My brother came up here 7 years ago, and they got the
Yeah, you have to go on some like private
they
land.
knew somebody.
Yeah. So you can do it that way because you could use their tags. So you could go buy the gator hunting license, and then you could use the landowner's tag. So the way I could alligator hunt around here would be, because I don't own like wetlands specifically to just order my own tag, I could apply for the private state hunting tags. So it's like a lottery at that point. You get thrown into a little lottery deal, you get a couple tags if you get picked. So yeah, that's all done in it's the month of September. The whole month of September is the gator season. Alright, so different tree growth around this. I mentioned bald cypress earlier. This is like a little young one. They do this like crazy. One trunk, but 2 trees. You know, so the bald cypress are a brown colored trunk. And also the willows out here, very, very brown colors too, but there's a lot of shades of color. So we got the black willows and we got this tree. This is the early stage of the leaf growth. It's kind of red, of the red maple. They'll eventually be normal green colored leaves. When they first grow, they kind of red color. They actually grow red flower. And seed, their leaves at first are red, but then they turn normal colored. So we have a lot of red maple out here. They don't get really, really big because of the water and everything, but they grow really well. And there's a gum tree out here too. So you have the cypress. Bald cypress is our state tree. And they're kind of the main tree of our swamp. We'll see more of them here in a minute when we get into the bodies. And then you have the willows with the yellow paint and signs. That's your state property law. So that's what this stuff is. The left side state, right side's private right now. So the black willows, the red maples, the bald cypress. The second main tree of the whole swamp is called the water tupelo. You'll see more of them in the body. The whole swamp's called the Honey Island Swamp. It's 77,000 acres. The state owns a little over 35,000 acres. So almost half the whole swamp is state owned. And it allows people to come out on public property. The river, the last floodgate for our Pearl River is by the city of Pearl River. And it's above the stage where they don't let you hunt on the stage anymore because it's above flood stage up there. So when the river up there gets over 16.5 feet, they shut down all the managed areas to hunt. Because normally in February, the guys are running their dogs around catching all the wild pig around here. So they open up dog hunting seasons for like small game, and then the wild pig on the state land in the month of February when deer season closes. And they can't because the river's too high. So where there is literally no fair chase regulation on private land, the state does. So, yeah. They everywhere. I mean, they're everywhere around here too. They're really everywhere over there. So what'll happen is, especially since no one got to go run the dogs all over this area, we're not the only river that might be hot. So other areas of the state gets the dog hunt, but the Pearl River's closed. But the summer flies around helicopters and shoots them up, and all that stuff. So they let us ride around airboats on private land, downriver, in the marsh areas of Louisiana. You ride around airboats and shoot them and stuff like that. So they tons of wild pig around here. They usually let you hunt them like crazy this month because it's dog season. So I'm sure I got a lot of friends that dog hunt this management area for wild pig. That's closed because the riverside. It's gonna come up by middle to end of this week. The river. It might only come up another foot or so here, but a foot of water here might be like 6-7 feet of water upward. You know, it's that big of a difference.
Now,
So,
what kind of tree is that again?
on this side,
That moss tree.
well, they all come have this stuff. That is a bald cypress tree, but the plant in it is called Spanish moss. Yes, all the gray stuff draping everywhere is a separate plant that kind of hangs on everything. Now, if you notice all back this way, there's no Spanish moss on all the willow trees. You got one little tiny cypress with a bunch of Spanish moss. All the willows have none. Willow trees are so acidic. When the Spanish moss seeds and reproduces, the seeds land on willows and die. So you never see Spanish moss all over the willow trees because of the way their bark's so acidic. And then you got that one little cypress in the middle growing with the willows. That's cool because it will grow off the cypress. It goes well off the willow tree. You go in the city, down the parade routes and stuff. They got them on the live oaks everywhere. Those 3 trees are actually the favorite trees those Spanish moss are built on because the crevice bark, the seed can launch into, and then the less than acidic bark of it, and then the fungus. It grows a lichen fungus that actually eats and gets nutrients from that Spanish moss. Spanish moss is it's actual plant. It's not Spanish or moss. That's what it's called. It's just got that name kind of from way back in the day. This is the plant that was used exclusively for cushion for centuries. They packed that full into your mattresses and pillows forever. That's where the old saying, "Don't let the bed bugs bite" came from. People that slept on mattress filled Spanish moss baskets is full of different insects and stuff like that. Out here, really not so much because all water. You get some spiders in it, and maybe some flying insects. That's it. So like, if you really needed that for cushion, this is the area you want to pull it from, is the flooded swamps because of the lack of insects in it. But when you pull it out of the dry land areas where it grows fleas, lice, red bugs, ticks, everything lives in that stuff. That's what it all started. They used Spanish moss up into the early 1900s. I mean, they used it for a long time as cushion. And then when you reupholster that old furniture from back in the day, they call the stuff horsehair. That's dead Spanish moss. When that plant dies, you're left with these little black fibers, which is like the strands of the plant when the leaf is gone. So that's what the actual horsehair stuff is. Now, got really pretty raccoon that lives out here. We call it Blondie. She's a cinnamon raccoon. She's like red. When she runs by, it's like orange. She disappears. Now you can see all the gum tree. Gums are great trees. The cypress will get gray because of the fungus on them, and you can see flippy things on them. That's a gum tree. There's a cypress tree. So, water tupelo gum, they're a very softwood tree. They really were never used for a whole lot. Maybe firewood or something, because they're very soft, so the termites eat them up real badly. Stuff like that. Bald cypress were used for everything. This is your wood construction, building type of lumber for back in the 1800s into the 1900s before they outlawed cutting trees. Very hardwood trees, bald cypress. So they cut them, built all their boats out of them, all their inland structures out of them. They're found up and down the east coast, the northern Gulf Coast. They're extremely abundant in our state because of the habitat. So they like low-lying freshwater rivers, and that's our whole state. So you got all these different rivers that flow through our state. Bald cypress is very abundant here. They still have some big ones left. They cut a ton of them down. They're our old growth conifer tree on the east side of North America. The bald cypress. They're the largest tree in North America east of the Sierra Nevada mountains. So east of California, they're the biggest trees where a lot of what you're seeing is new growth. But the bigger ones are kind of scattered inside your deep parts of your swamp. The biggest one still around up by St. Francisville, Louisiana. They got a little island with a tree on it. It is about 100 foot tall, and it's a little over 17 feet across at the trunk on one side. The big bald cypress tree. It's estimated well over 1,500 years old. It's by St. Francisville. So it's an island. Bless you. It's an island in the Mississippi River, but right outside of St. Francisville. And then, it's got a 54-foot circumference around the whole trunk. It's a big old. So you can get to it in summertime when the river's shallow. They do tours to it. It's because it's on a federal refuge, and you gotta get a boat to get out to it, and then they'll bring deep. I guess I've never been there, but you can get to the trees.
No, I'll get my next boat.
grows extremely slow, so they don't plant. But they do replant them for mitigation projects, you know, just to put back what was there, because when cypress grows so slow and it's such a hard, naturally reproducible tree, and when they clear cutted the swamps back in the day, all the undergrowth take over, you know, so all of a sudden you got all these little scrub trees overgrowing where cypress could grow if it could. So they actually go in a lot of low-lying swamps that dry in summer. They'll clear cut them and then they'll replant cypress and gum, because that's your natural trees that grow and hold everything together. So they get big, nice lumber. So today they look for the old sinker trees. They find big old pieces of trees that were cut 100+ years ago, and the wood never rots underwater. And they'll make furniture like tables and countertops and different things like that. And then make big money with that. You can find them. And then the other part's just getting out the river at that point. The little stumps at the base of the tree are part of their root system. So they're called a cypress knee.
Oh, interesting.
And when you get upriver, where you have a lot more elevation difference and the river changes a lot more in depth, they get taller, you know, because you'll see more of the root when the river goes down. Right here, this is it. The water might go down, you know, maybe a foot by the dead of summer when it gets real shallow around here. So you only see a little bit of the root here. You go upriver where it changes 10 feet. And people used to cut those big long roots off and they carve and stuff with them. Nowadays they make bonsai trees out of them. You're not supposed to cut them because it's part of the tree. And that's just a root. So if you cut it, that's it. It's just a tree root. But when they soak it in that solution, it makes roots. And they make these really cool bonsai trees out of them. They sell them for like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
They come out really cool looking. It takes a couple of years to do it. To like make it grow branches and everything. They come out really cool. Almost to where we're trying to get to. Look, this is a little bayou we call Maple Slough. So, you know, we start the tour on the river, West Pearl. All your little branches and tributaries that break from the river naturally form are your bayous. You know, so inside the swamp, it might look a little different than downriver by the lake because it's a marsh, so it's grass with no canopy compared to right here, you're in between the trees. But that's all your bayous are, just little natural tributaries. It's just kind of a term we use down here. It's like eastern Texas, all the way to probably Alabama, you know, they call them bayous and stuff. But something's chewing the nut tree right there. So this little bayou right here, we're almost to the end. Hopefully we'll see some critters back here. Boing. Tree. Eventually, this whole bayou is full of gators in here. But the water's trying to get clear to the right too.
Oh yeah.
You see how in the grasses it's
wow.
trying to clear up. Normally, the river's up, so it's letting a lot of sediment through. But if the water was just a little bit shallower, all that sediment wouldn't be able to flow as strongly through the grasses, and the water will get like jet black back here. It starts to look really cool. So when you get this darker tone, because you remember the river was like high sediment, kind of more red colored. It's a little bit darker back here because the soil's different color back here. The swamp is fully deciduous, so everything you see green will generally die for winter, and then it comes back kind of quickly if we don't get too many freezes. But your bottom's made of like decaying vegetation. So where you think there's land, you still can't walk on it. It's just like a fluff. You stepping on the tree roots around the trees, and there's like a spongy, harder ground, and all of a sudden you take one step over and you're swimming. You know, and you thought that was land, but it wasn't. Even though there's like, it looks like land, you go right through it. That's what your swamp, and that's what the trees hold together. You know, that's what the root systems in these trees are. They keep all this together. And it grows back every year. It gets, look, by summer, it gets so thick back here. This is the sauna shrub right here. By this time, everybody be passed out from the heat exhaust shrub. It's a little rough back here because all this stuff gets so thick, and then the wind pattern in summer is more from the lake, so you don't get that wind in here. And it's hot in here. It's nice right now when the wind blowing. The north wind comes right across this little open. I think it's cold back here this time of year. Got a couple more egrets way back in front of us. When we make this little loop, we'll be really close to them if they're out there hunting in the grass. Oh, alligator woodpecker. Look at him. Oh,
Nice.
Oh, man. Thank you. I know, he keeps moving, chop. Get on the back.
They're tough to get pictures of. I'm surprised he flew this low for us to see it.
May I?
Now, is that a squirrel nest up there?
Probably, yeah, them little bundles in the treetop. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the little bushies up in the treetops.
all the way at the top.
Yeah, those are little
Okay,
squirrel nests.
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, little grace. They strip the bark of the cypress trees down, and they make their little nest sites out of the cypress bark. Turns like into mulch.
Yeah. When we was kids, we would throw rocks and then they would fall down. So it was free game, you know, where you didn't have to.
Big old pill. That was the biggest woodpecker. That's the ivory billed snake. That's your biggest woodpecker. That's Woody's woodpecker. That's the one they made the cartoon off of.
Yeah.
Cool, but that's where all the big holes in the trees come from. Their tongue is twice the length of their beak, maybe even longer. So there's a big turtle in there. So the woodpecker, because of the way they fish for the insects in the trees, their tongue goes over the top of their skull, all the way to the back of their head. It's like the length of their beak, so it's almost like an anteater style. They'll, they get into the crevices of the trees. Yeah, so their tongue goes from the beak all the way over the back side of their skull. Yeah, that's the egrets again. They're hunting all my crawfish down. Yeah, we don't eat them yet. We gotta
way back there.
Yeah.
You don't get too much meat off of them little guys. Snapping turtle, that turtle meat's real good. Real tender. You just eat everything we eat. They don't let nothing go to waste. Turtles, yeah, that's a little slider, but snapping turtles, where you get a big old snapping turtle, you get turtle soup, that comes from it could be the common snapping turtle. They don't get as big as the alligator snapper, but they get big enough to get some good meat off them. We start catching them crossing highways that's coming up right now. They're traveling across the roads. You just ride up and down the swamp and you just, seeing people picking up turtles around here. And then my uncle, because he used to live right up the street, he used to do like daily, every morning. He'd drive down the road just to catch a couple. And a lot of times what you're catching are female turtles. Go in a nest. And if it ends up being a female full of eggs, he'd just bury the eggs in a bucket of sand. You just leave it on side the house in the sun and they'll hatch. And you just let them go. So, finish off what she was trying to start. But that turtle meat, that's worth some money. Because they don't really farm them guys because they grow so slow. Yeah. So they just catch them and you sell them to the restaurants and they make some pretty good money with the turtle meat. The alligator meat that you get everywhere, that's all like farm raised. They can grow them little things way quicker than what turtles can grow. We're almost to the end of the little bayou. Hopefully we get to see all my other little fuzzy friends back here. We got some that we feed back here like dogs. Oh, there's a little rat. I seen a little raccoon up here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys!
Is that over by the other boat?
But that's not what we're coming back here for. You might see something else.
Oh,
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of egrets.
Oh, it's Peppa Pig! Look old Peppa. Oh, hey mama. Yeah, he would like that.
Hey, little dude, you want to go for a piggyback ride?
pigs in the swamp.
Wow.
Now, pulling into here, I said that these animals are small. The females, which you're always looking at right here, can average 300
Oh,
pounds.
them babies are starting to get dark colored, huh?
They are.
Yeah, they used to be red.
They, males, big boys, they can get up to 600 pounds. They can average 600 pounds.
I can see the ripples right in front of you.
Oh, just coming around, I
There she
think.
is, look behind you. But I'm gonna get both of them a come.
Yeah.
Mom, there's one over here.
Here. Oh wow. This is Peppa Pig. Hey Peppa. It's like stick out my way.
Yeah, she's yeah.
Damn teeth. And that's her mama right there. We call her Mama Pig. That's Mama over there. They both of these just had babies. One of the cats. Gary said he saw the babies the other day. Gary said he saw their babies the other day. They little bit. They gotta be little bitty.
I know.
It's on your face. Oh, it's just something. And then Mama. Mama is gonna be 6, like this spring. So she's going on 6. Peppa Pig right here is probably like 5 or 4 or 5 years old, but this is her baby. I've been feeding Mama Pig since she was a little piglet. Peppa, these two hang together. So she's got other ones we see back here too, but these are the two that always hang together. And then we got like one we call Chris and Princess. They hang together. They're from the same litter.
Walking
from
around
Mama
the
Pig.
swamp. Crazy.
So her sister from the same litter don't even come out anymore. We called her Hamlet. What? You so hungry? See if I get Mama to come on outside real quick. Get in there, well, those little bigger raccoons are darkening up, but you should have saw them. They were red.
Little mama has grabbed onto one of the other raccoons while his tail was trying to run up a tree and rip up his tail off trying to eat that raccoon.
So many raccoons.
We have seen her grab onto like little 3, 4, even 5 foot long baby alligators, grab them by the head, throw them around to break their neck, and then drag them back up on their back and start trying to eat it.
I mean, no. Oh yeah.
Bigger alligators will eat the smaller pigs, but the bigger pigs eat the smaller
She'll
alligators.
just pull her face to the side. And
That's just crazy though how they been feeding this sucker.
And then all her molars are like back.
A
to the
pig
back of the
that
jaw.
size?
They eat up animals. They crush
For the most part, alligators.
That little finger would.
Yeah.
The baby one wouldn't look at me like you ain't got no food. Oh, wow.
I haven't seen Blondie in a while.
She was just up there.
You saw her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I stopped and threw a pellet.
She must have walked off.
Alright guys, we're gonna start trying to back out of here. Y'all able to get some good pictures of the pigs and raccoons? I hope so. Can't do a whole lot better.
The way through life. This is how you keep the pigs from trying to kill you. Pour food in their life all the time.
What's the down again?
More or less like pets back here. Because look, if they're not out, you can yell, "Come here, pig," real loud. They'll come out the woods. Yeah. So, well, this is the most dangerous thing you might encounter in the woods. They kill all their animals, and eat them. They're dead, and they eat each other. Yeah.
I just said my son said, yeah, she probably like me. We just killed her boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, because we hunt them.
And they swim.
Nice.
Swimming pigs. Wild pigs swim. I don't know how good a farm pig swim. They got long. Wild pigs have long legs. You know, they live out in the bush and everything, and they're fast. Not afraid of nothing. They are literally the most invasive species of anything ever brought. So little raccoons are like, "Where's our snacks?" I don't know how I just fished that through the trees at that toss.
Nice.
Like it went down this tree, but around the other tree. Or old Peppa's gonna go eat a raccoon maybe. But yeah, so pigs get brought on ships by the Spanish first and other Europeans afterwards, and you know, they brought in as a food source, a farm pig. And then mostly what you have all over the country is a feral hog. It's a farm pig that went wild. And then in the 1800s they bring Russian boar. So the boar are, you know, specifically just a male pig.
Yeah.
and they get big. You know, so the boar will well outgrow a female pig.
Man.
And then if they have that Russian bloodline, they get enormous. They can get 500 plus pounds. So they can be pretty large. So those are brought in for food. Look at my mouth.
See, that's the one. My son did.
Pig's trying to get him.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And,
Massive.
they get big. That's a big one.
And then you get the sweet ones like that. Yeah, she's sweet. She won't bite. I say that until you get big. So this is, I'm gonna tell you all the reasons why we have no regulations to hunt these on private property. So the animals get brought in as a food source. They go wild. They reproduce like that raccoon. Big litters, multiple times a year, full life. Female pig will go in the heat around like 6 to 8 months old. So, you know, at first she's gonna have little litters because she's a baby still. When they hit like 2 to 3 years old, next thing you know, they're producing 8, 10 in a litter, 12 in a litter, depends on how big she is. And they could have 15 or more in a litter, 2 times a year. So she can, you know, her gestation's 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. She can go back in the heat in 6 days. While she's literally just had birth, nursing the tiny piglets, she can be pregnant again, you know? And then in less than 4 months, bam, there's a whole nother 8, 10, 12, 14, whatever she's had. So you got that problem. And that goes on for like 10, 15 years. So one mama pig individually can produce well over 200 babies. So you fast forward from 1500s to present, we got millions and millions up in the wild. Extremely tough on native animals because they eat them plus all their food source, like deer and stuff like that. And then they just overpopulate too quickly. So we have no regulations on it. It's just open season on private land, 24 hours a day, whatever, however, and, you know, wherever you want to hunt them, what they're from. They're good meat. Most people hunt them for food. They're lean like a deer, so you're not getting all like the belly fat, like bacon that you get off a farm animal.
I swear we see an alligator.
They pop up, little tiny guys that pop up back that way. That's what you gotta look for, because sticks will look like gators. They confuse me every once in a while. Every once in a while you'll see some small guys back that way.
Yeah, it looks like an eye.
We're gonna go find them. I look hard enough over here to try to find them.
Yeah.
I don't see it idle and out. It's not literally, it's probably just a piece. I know where we go down. The other day, let's see, when it was like 80 the other day, we had one laying back there, but the things are all over the stuff. There, around the turn where the turtle is, they have a gator and a turtle hanging out at the same time. And then on the back side, there's literally like if you went over there, like where that white bird is, a little bit closer to where that white bird is, straight back, there's like a 6-footer that lays right there. So he's probably still right there, but he's under the mark, under that grass. Because they'll wait till it warms up enough to really surface. So he probably hibernates right there, because every time we get a really nice sunny day, there's like a 6-footer that sits right there where we can see him. So they're right there. If you want to get out and go poke around, you can probably find them. I'll tell you when to stop. They're all right up in here. They go down. Yeah, another turn. He's got a friend now. He's got a friend. Watch me go find him. You'll notice he's got friends. The other day we were just looking right here. We were looking at, they had a hawk in a tree. While we're looking at the hawk, 2 gators just come swimming out the grass right here. So they're all right here. We're so close to really starting to see them all over, and then you get that cold front. And it sets you back like 4 days from seeing everything consistent. And then it warms back up for like a really nice warm day. And then like later this week, we're gonna have another cold front. Bam, set you back 3 or 4 days. So that's what spring does. The day before, people come out and kill 15 gators on the floor, and the very next day you're like fighting to look for more. Because of the cold weather.
We came last year, but it was really humid today. I took over 10 pictures of alligators.
Last year we went down like 6 degrees.
It was really hot.
Chilly day, something yesterday, you know, it's just it's an awful morning. Burrow, like more or less say in April, and they get same thing will happen even that much later. Cold front comes May, so bam, you want to see it. 20 gators in Florida. None. Wow, where they all go. But once that water temperature warms up into the 70-degree range, then it's kind of cold weather kind of comes back up. So the water's still kind of keep on out of the current. So right now the water's still cool. So when the air's cold and the water's cold, it's cool. The benefit to them is vine stuff. So not the closest one, but the further one back. You see in the middle, it makes like a little belly. See the snake in the middle of the little belly? Watch as it back up.
Oh wow, yeah.
You see it back there? You see the little, you see like not the first one, but the second one? You see the belly? You see how there's this little like...
Oh yeah,
see the middle of it?
Yeah. Okay, I see it.
I'm gonna pull y'all a little closer. We can't get all the way up in there, but I'll pull y'all a little closer.
Yeah, yeah.
Just looked over, I'm like, oh,
I'm not gonna get it again.
You get an eye for it after a while. I remember when I first started working, I never saw it. And everybody was like, all the other campers that were here, they're like, oh, we saw snakes everywhere. I'm like, I never see a snake. It looks like part of the tree. And then eventually, once you get an eye for it, yeah, watch when we go forward. So not this first bush, the second one. The second one back. Look a little further back. Back there. Well, you're looking too close. Look further back.
What is that?
It's a diamondback water snake.
Oh.
Non-venomous.
No people eat those.
I guess they get kind of big, so I guess it's possible. You'd probably get some meat off of them because they do get big. Like if you look them up, they say they grow like 7, 8 feet long. I've never literally seen one any longer than maybe 4 feet or so, but they get like this big. Like the females will get like Coke can size. Like
Yeah.
That's a little nutria bed right there. Look how they chopped out like grass down there. The little hill right there. See that little flat spot? That's a big female too. Her head's facing us. She's watching.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So the female snake gets way larger than the male snake, and in the alligator, all your crocodilian family, the males get a lot larger than the females. It differs for different reptiles. There we go. That's a snake. Well, right there, that's showing you it's warming up. Because as far as cold tolerant reptiles, turtles #1. They don't care. It could be ice on the treetops. The sun comes out, turtles show up on ball. But the snake and the alligator are way less temperature tolerant. So if it's cold in the morning, you really don't see snakes as much at all. Just like you see the snake. So eventually, we get cold, not that cold, but occasionally we can get kind of cold winters. It happened a few winters ago. You get ice around it. All the shallows freeze up. The bayous kind of stay open because of movement, but the shallow stuff will freeze up, and that happened twice in one winter, 3 winters ago. So not this winter, but subtract 2 more. So anyway, you get this process the gators go through where they still have to breathe air. So the alligator will surface, freeze his face into the ice.
Wow.
And then they stay frozen.
Wow.
With their face above water, breathing. So it's called when they go back in the hole. The whole process they go through is called formation. But enabling them to stay alive, they can't hold their breath forever. Because you have alligators that live in our northern part of our state, all the way to like Arkansas and other states like that. So it's a lot colder than the southern Louisiana. So you got gators up there, so their shallows probably might freeze on a yearly basis. Every 4 or 5 years. So you also have alligators all over the shallows. Stays too warm, they don't even go into hibernation, but they do get less active with a lack of daylight. Hey guys! Good! And then, so brumation, it's a reptile's ability to shut its body down. The alligator shuts its heart rate for like 4 beats a minute. That's how it stays underwater for so long. All their bodily functions have been turned off to stay as dormant as possible. And then they pop up for air when they need it, and eventually, as it starts warming up, they start eating again. Blondie? She's in back. That little center. She's straight back in the elevator a little bit. You can see her barely. She's a real light bird. It's trying. They got trying. They just don't have fun. Babies in the back, they were a lot lighter red colored like last year when they were rural baby, but they're dark enough too. She stayed kind of light color. All her features like like black hands and mask. It's all like a chocolate color. So a little bit different light features. Well, look, that's not a common color, but we see the light birds around here kind of regular. Go down to the lake, so now you're at the Gulf. Shallow, I guess. You can run for miles and miles and miles, and fish are all the shallows, the marshes, the Louisiana, speckled trout, redfish, flounder, black trout, all that stuff right there. The river. So up here we get crawfish, the freshwater crustaceans, all in the close swamp. And then you go down to the lake, blue crab, oysters, all that stuff. You literally have a trip in the summer when you get our salinity levels back higher, I think that's more southeasterly pattern. That's when we start to see the dolphin and stuff down there. So you just have to run across Lake Bourne, you'd see dolphins, all bottles of dolphins. But this time of year, you're going to get across the lake in the summertime, they like to ride at the mouth of Lake Bourne. bit further upriver. That's been hanging out. Then it switched sides. Like that's my property. This is the state land. I just tie anything up to the state land. So twice the states that told them to move it. It's kind of our land. I don't know if the boss told them to move it one time. So it's like, we see the guys occasionally. I don't know.
Right.
It's something else to look at on tour. It's like they use them for fishing camps and stuff like that. Areas you can't get cars to, they have houseboats on private land. You drive your little boats out to your little camps, and that's kind of what that's good. That's a nice one. That's a big one. Like a lot of times they're little shacky things. Right. That's a nice one right there. So this bridge still does work there. This old bridge we're going under, it opened a couple months ago for that houseboat. It'll open for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're from here or not. It's reopening because I pay for it. Owned by the Department of Transportation.
So do you have to call first?
Yeah, nowadays. Yeah.
Okay, no operator on okay.
So if you called like this morning, you'd probably get an opening later today. But normally it's kind of like a day ahead of time. You go straight up, straight down. That bridge was built in 1932. So we just looked for they marked it historical about 4 or 5 years ago, so they can't remove it. And yeah, it goes up and down, straight up and down. Thank you at 90. That road right there, before interstates are built around here, that takes you to California to Florida, that little highway right there. 90 goes from like LA to past Panama City, Florida. That little road right there. That's something a little over here. Oh wow. That's kind of nice. These are the last houses on the river before the lake. So all of a sudden you get to coastal Louisiana and all your homes are built up high. Now your grandfather is, so you'll see all the different levels through time. Because this area is actually where we're so close to the Gulf of Mexico, these guys are like fully protected from hurricanes. Not from flooding, but the swamp stops all the storm surge. You know, it stops a lot of the wind field trying to get through because this stuff is so thick that the water has a hard time. You know, you don't have a problem on the storm surge getting through. So that saves them. And then the wind, look, when this stuff finally thickens up and you're up here, you can go on 30 miles an hour at the lake, you don't even feel the breeze up. Because it's that thick. So I mean, it's the same thing happening with the storms too. So these guys, even though we're so close to the Gulf, they're protected. All these houses get surviving green and all flood. This one was rained for a decade. So this one used to be short. Every single one of these places. We ride right down the street. All the houses you see down 90, 20 miles are all built 60 feet. Like every single one. Now this house didn't survive Katrina because it floated away. They didn't literally have their humper strapped down. They used to be a little house right there in the front. It used to be down here in the marsh. You'd be running down river, there used to be a house out in the marsh. And then another hurricane kind of got rid of that. Head down river, take you to a whole different world down here. All the trees are we got maples and stuff down here that are maybe 15, 20 feet at the height. You know, and then all the big cypress disappear because of the salt water and starts to come up the river.
Are we going to the ocean?
Not that far. Okay. We don't have enough gas. We can make it most of the way there, we just want to make it back. Go look for Gilligan. Once you hit the mouth of this river, where we're going to head to is you'll be able to see the end of the river by way of a bridge. There's a train bridge at the end of the river system, and that's the mouth of the lake. We'll stop, I'll show you the bald eagle nest, I'll show you, you can see it right from the river, and they're usually sitting on a nest so you'll see them. Might see some other stuff, you never know. Sometimes you'll see actual normal wild pigs this way, just rummaging on the shoreline. I've seen, about a month or so ago, we're down here where we're headed to, some little bobcats on the bank. You know, you kind of never know what you might see, but there's different animals down here that, sometimes you see.
spot them.
So like in summertime, they'll put crab traps in the river. Like normally you fish in the lakes for blue crab, but you can fish in the river because the salinity is a lot higher. They'll fish the blue crab in the river too. And right here, we're still this is literally where we come to see the alligators. These crazy ass fish. So this is like the first one I've ever seen. But anyway, the lake's right down there where the bridge is. Okay. That's a train trestle down there. And we alligators in here. They like to just lay up on the bank. Well, you get out of the wind. You know, so sunlight instantly can reach land here. There's no canopy to block the sun. You tidal, all that stuff combined usually lets us find a couple gators. We're gonna go look. He's not even around for this, so he's not gonna. When they're just sunbathing, that's not gonna bother him. But look, alligators are afraid of boats and people and things like that. So when you're not on a tour boat that they see every single day, they're afraid of that. You know. But when it's this time of year, when it's chilly and they just looking to sunbathe, that's not gonna bother them. Because they're still gonna be laid up in this grass. Laying on the shorelines. And sometimes they might have the whole head above water, the whole body above water. Sometimes I gotta like dig them out of the grass. You're like, if you can't find them, I know where about they like to be because they kind of don't really move around too much this time of year. And you just like, you put the boat over the top of them, the pressure of the boat will wake them up. And squirm out of the grass on the side. Hopefully we don't have to do that. They're just, we find one just laying there, we can look at it. So, you know, you just want to sunbathe. Alligators, they evolved from the croc species from, you know, millions and millions of years back. There's 4 groups of the crocodilian family. There's a total of 24 crocodilians. So you have 2 types of alligator. You have our American alligator that we're looking for, and then there's a Chinese alligator in China. And that one doesn't get very big. It's about a 6 foot, 7 foot long growth alligator, where our American alligator, the biggest ever killed was 19 feet 2 inches. So over time they get big. Male alligators, most of your largest crocodilian family members, the males can live for more than 100 years. So it allows, you know, like our alligator, for instance, to get that big because they kind of don't stop growing, and then they can live for so long that little by little they can get really big. Our only other species in all of North America is a crocodile. It's called the North American crocodile. It's found mostly in Central America, but there's a tiny population in Southern Florida. So you got the only place in the world the crocodile and the alligator live in the same habitat. South Florida, you know, very, very southern tip of the islands. So way down there. And then they get big too. In Costa Rica, down there in Central America, they can get upwards of 20 feet down there too. The salt North American croc. Then you have, you know, a couple other croc species that get really big. So saltwater croc's the biggest of everybody. That thing gets as big as our boat. The biggest one of them ever killed was 28 feet, which is the length of the boat. That's how big them things can grow. That's in Australia, the Philippines, and stuff like that. So we don't have them, luckily. Can't swim around them. Can't even walk down the beach around them. They come out the ocean and eat you. Yeah, very fast. Look at these things. Oh, there's a gator on the right. He's swimming. Over there. See him over there? Yeah, that's what we were looking for. Like if it was 20 degrees warmer, you'd see it's maybe a little bigger. Alright. Look at the little nutria holes, but they got little tunnels. I'm gonna get out of this bank right here. When it's a colder day, I mean this isn't that cold. It's still a little chill, but that's what we're always looking for, stuff like that. It takes a couple days of some really nice sunny weather to start getting the bigger ones up. Unless they just been out here. Once the water gets warm enough, the cold fronts don't affect them as much because the water is where they live. So the water keeps them just that much warmer. Then it's not that big of a problem for us to look at. We actually, it gets to the point where we don't really come down here anymore because we don't need to. We'll start seeing them further up the river. But right now, we got to literally make this long run to go look for these guys. He's moving around pretty good. See him that cold. He's cold. Stick your hand in that water. That's what his blood is. Whatever that
Oh,
water
man.
temperature is, that's what his blood is.
It's gotta be.
But you see how he's keeping his body very elevated to the top. All their blood is literally through them bumpy spikes on their backside. They're called scutes. So all the blood is. Here, let me see if I can distract them. Thought about it for a second. It's like it's throwing rocks at me again. But a protein pellet is literally made for them. Especially when they're small like this at the farms, they don't feed them the pellets too much when they're big because it'd be cost of non-efficient. So when they're little, it helps them grow fast. But that pellet's 45% protein. So on the farms they use them when they're real small to grow them quicker, and at the zoo they feed them. You get fish meal and ground mammal bone and dried blood and a handful of different things. So it took us about a year, like a full season of touring to get them used to it because they've been eating marshmallows forever around here. So we quit using marshmallows and hot dogs and stuff like that.
Oh, he's leaving. He's underwater now. Good job. You don't give me no fight, I'm leaving. We should have brought some chicken.
Oh, yeah. There he is.
If he ate chicken, he might die.
Oh.
It's too cold. That's why they don't eat in the winter. They can't digest their food.
Oh.
Their body, like I say, they wouldn't even eat it. Their body doesn't even allow them to really eat. They'll like, we'll get a warm day, and they'll start eating them pellets, but they just kind of chew them up. They don't really eat them. There's a couple of nutria I just saw swimming through the grass back here. Somewhere back, I just saw them moving around. They were right back there. Oh, there's one right in front of the boat, actually.
Oh, yeah.
See, it's right on the edge of the grass, right there off the front of the bow. See his little white fur by his mouth. Straight in front of the boat. Right in the grass line right there. When that nutria got introduced into the wetlands, it turns into the alligator's like #1 food source as a mammal. Because they are active the exact same times of the day as the alligator. Dormant during the day, just kind of laying there like a gator likes to do. And then at night be feeding for grasses and everything. So the alligator eats them up like crazy when they're big enough. That nutria in there might be able to eat that alligator over here. Big old rat right there. Oh, there's one swimming right there. I don't know where he came from. Just popped up out of nowhere. Swim up out of nowhere. Yeah, one just swam into the grass right there, but there's a big one just sitting there. There's that little guy over there, he's gonna crawl up in that grass. He probably just lay there. As long as nobody like runs him over, he'll sit there all day. Hopefully, next tour, I'm gonna stop a little further upriver after it's been warm enough for a little while. Maybe spot one a little closer upriver. Next tour, just chilling in here. Sometimes it's 4 or 5 of them laying out. And all of a sudden you get that really, really hot day. And if you do even come down here, because once it gets real hot, I'll see a few gators up here if I don't make this run. But if you came down here, all of a sudden there's like an 8-footer that you never saw one time the whole winter, but he was here. But just hibernating when you're down here. And then all of a sudden you get that really, really warm day, and he's up sunbathing. There's a snake right here.
Oh, what?
Oh, he's looking right at
I
us.
know. Kind of low right here.
Oh, okay.
That is probably a Mississippi green water snake. The name of that. Look at that yellow neck. I'm venomous. The only venomous snake you might see around here would be a water moccasin. That might look the same anyway. It's a little different. Might not be able to stand up on the bottom, but it's very shallow. Are you gonna grab them? They'll bite you. Water snakes aren't nice at all. Like certain snakes you can kind of pick up in the wild and kind of bounce off. Water snakes will bite the mess out of you. They're not nice at all.
Oh, we're right there. Yep. That's that pose right there.
Yeah.
That's a strength.
And after the snake, I probably ran a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
See, guys, he's got all his body up. All his blood's right there. That's all he needs to do to sunbathe. When he crawls on that grass is going to absorb heat with him. But look, their skin is black for the most part. That absorbs heat really easy. That's literally evolution from crocs. Crocs are light skinned. They live at the equator. They don't need sun. An alligator can absorb heat instantaneously with a dark skin. So they live away from the equator. The two alligator species are pretty dark skinned.
Thank you.
He just popped up for us, made it easy on me. Like right up in this little pocket, there might have one under the grass, and you like nose it up in there, stir it up, and the pressure of the boat over the top of them wakes them up. They have to come up for air.
So you see them more when there's not a lot of trees around, right?
No. Well, this time of year is where we come to look because of the warmer water down here, but no, we just need heat. As soon as that sun starts getting warmer, which I'm not looking forward to, it stays that way for a while. Yeah, they're just everywhere. You're just looking for warmth. So this time of year, you got to go try and search for the warmer places, which would be closer to lake. More sunlight. But that helps us because of the lack of trees. You get more sunlight down here. People get attacked every year. It's in Florida every year. It's because you're trying to save your dog from getting eaten by a big alligator. That's how people get attacked. An alligator doesn't pursue a human as a food source. That instance in Disney World, that was just a little kid. They eat small mammals. So that was literally like a 2-year-old kid standing in water at night next to his dad. You know, didn't go after the dad, he went after the kid. You know, so this is a similar instance where people walk their dogs around lakes constant and all these places in South Florida, and an alligator sees that every day. And eventually he goes to try to eat your dog while you're walking them because they're not really that afraid of people because they see people all the time too. And then you get in the way to try to take your dog and kill you. Right now, there's no shrimp. You probably have shrimp just buried in the mud because the water's still cold. Because some of the shrimp won't leave fully, but most of your shrimp migrate out of your lakes because they get so cold in winter for them. And then the first set of shrimp that's going to come in is a brown shrimp. They migrate in from the Gulf. They come inland to our lakes to grow. And they get different food sources. And then all of a sudden, that starts off. And then we start shrimp season in May and June. And then brown shrimp. We get catching those leftover white shrimp from last year. White shrimp season at state. And then by midsummer, July, white shrimp begin to migrate inland and bait them. Little shrimp that you can even catch them. You give them a month, and all of a sudden they go from hundreds of pounds to maybe like 40, 50 pounds. And then usually by fall, when they start to eat and the temperature changes again, they're like 10, 15 pounds. the lakes. So when the lakes get 90 degrees around you. So if you get the station and you're coming in the water, you get to the one really Oh, he's chasing the bird out of the other tree. Oh, okay. Like, he's like chasing like a hawk or something over there. I've watched him catching fish and stuff on the board before. It's pretty cool watching him. And they got babies like this. So you don't like it. You like other birds around. They got the heavy other one in the little hawk right there. I mean, I wasn't slowing down for it. It's another boat, but these little hawk perched in the two out. Well, so that's the difference of a cypress tree in a coastal saltwater area, where the river's still fresh on top of the salinity come up the river. And these trees, you can notice the cypress down here are real bushy, full of a lot of limbs, and they're not going to ever grow very tall. And then all of a sudden we're going to make this turn, and we're going to get really close to where literally the swamp's getting tall again, because this fresh water flow can keep the salinity out. So all of a sudden the trees just skyrocket at night. You go from, a 25-foot tree to 80 to 100-foot tall trees, almost instantaneous, because of the difference of fresh water all the time and a little bit of salinity, when the tide brings it in. downriver up to maybe 4 or 5 feet laying in the yard with no big deal. You walk out your house and they jump back in the water, you know? You're never gonna walk outside and have like a 10-footer wait to eat you or something. Hello, Katrina, come through. That's how high it got out here. We had 18 feet of water above land. So, I'm saying they all flooded, they all flooded. These guys lucked out. When I say they lucked out, they thought no. So they lucked out and they lived in the swamp and the swamp down there in that marshland. Yeah, because that's kind of like what I live on by the lake. It's called saltwater lake. That's the creek. Like, if you live in the marsh area, we lucked out in that kind of thing. This one is really high down there. That was raised and it used to be Charlie's. Those were built, I think, in the 50s. That's why. That's how thick it gets around. The trees filled, you know. That one was like hurt. You don't get hurt. They hit everybody every year, but everybody takes time. It's not the same place. Like Louisiana, like an 8-year stretch without a storm and much of that coast. So you get gaps between. They're not all like Katrina-sized storms. You get a little tropical storm, a little category 1. I live literally right where the castle is. Third generation. We don't believe about this like category 2 is stronger. I might leave now with something. Nah, I'll stay. So I got two little girls, but I'll still stay. I got a generator, we'll survive. You know, it's like, but you know, you're blowing 100 miles an hour, 100 mile an hour outside. You just go, get to go outside and play 100 mile an hour wind. It's like I live down here, so it's kind of like what I'm used to. You know, you live out west, a little earthquake hits, and you're like, oh, it's just shook the ground, and people that's not from there might have a panic attack, you know. And up north, you live through all the blizzards, and storm weather, and down here we live through hot, a hurricane occasionally, you know. So, like they had an earthquake, like a 4.6 hit right out the mouth of the river last year. You didn't know it until they told you on the news because the seismograph went off. But the ground's so soft down here. I mean, that would be like a minor tremor in other places, but the ground's so soft, we didn't even know they had an earthquake until they said they had. The Mississippi River is the largest fault line in our continent. It's the Great Madrid Fault Line, but it just doesn't go off in the riverbed where, because you have such deep rock layer, you know, so difference. Anyway, well guys, that was a tour.
Awesome.
Thank y'all for coming out this morning.
Thank you, Captain.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Y'all enjoy the remainder of the parades. Hopefully,
Damn.
2020.
I'm a big fan of floats, but I mean, they can talk about that. Look, I'm gonna come right down the right side. Hang tight a minute. I'm gonna tie y'all off. Alright. Well, y'all get a chance to write a Facebook review. Probably hope to hear back from y'all and give us a prize on the Facebook review.
All right, I think we're good.